When you think of insects that farm, your mind probably jumps straight to ants. We've all seen those clips of leafcutter ants in a perfect line, hauling little green flags back to their nest to grow a special fungus. They're basically nature's OG farmers. But what if I told you that the world's best and maybe most important farmer is an insect you've probably never even heard of? This creature doesn't just grow food. It performs a kind of alchemy, a biological magic trick that turns the mountains of trash we make into one of the most valuable resources on the planet. It has perfected a self-sustaining food cycle that's so mind-blowingly effective, it could offer a real solution to our planet's massive and growing waste problem. So, who is this mystery farmer? And how could its genius, if a little bizarre, method of agriculture help us build a more sustainable future? Let's dig in. Our unsung hero is an insect called the black soldier fly. Now, I know what you're thinking. A fly. Not exactly the most glamorous creature. But this isn't your average picnic-ruining housefly. It doesn't spread diseases, and the adult fly doesn't even have a mouth. It lives for about a week, and its only job is to mate and lay eggs. It's a creature stripped down to the essentials, a model of efficiency. The real magic, though, happens with its kids, the black soldier fly larva. This is the farming stage, and it is a spectacle of relentless, ravenous eating. The life cycle kicks off when a female fly lays hundreds of eggs, usually between 500 and 700, right next to some rotting organic matter. That pungent smell is basically a dinner bell, a promise of a feast for her future children. In just a few days, those eggs hatch. What crawls out are tiny larvae, and they are born with one single purpose: to eat. And boy, do they eat. A black soldier fly larva is a biological engine of consumption. During its 2-week larval stage, its weight can increase thousands of times. They can eat up to 4 times their own body weight in organic waste every single day. And this isn't just eating, it's bioconversion on an industrial scale. They are not picky eaters. They'll devour just about any organic waste you can think of. Fruit and veggie scraps, coffee grounds, animal manure, and even tricky stuff like meat and dairy that can ruin a normal compost pile. As they gorge themselves, they grow through 5 different stages, shedding their skin each time they get bigger. But here's the most brilliant part of their whole system. You don't have to harvest them. They harvest themselves. Once the larvae reach their final stage, they've stored all the fat and protein they'll need for the rest of their lives. At this point, instinct just takes over. They are compelled to find a clean, dry place to transform into an adult fly. So, they literally crawl out of their food source and head for higher, drier ground. This self-harvesting behavior is a gift for anyone farming them. The larvae conveniently deliver themselves for collection. The whole system is almost too perfect. For about 10 days, they stay in a dormant pupal stage before emerging as an adult fly, ready to start the cycle all over again without ever taking a single bite. So, we have this incredible insect that farms itself on our garbage. That's cool, but what does it mean for us? This is where the story shifts from a neat biological fact to a world-changing solution. The problem we're facing is huge. Globally, we waste up to 1/3 of all the food we produce. A lot of that ends up in landfills, where it rots without oxygen and releases methane, a greenhouse gas that's way more potent than carbon dioxide. This is the exact problem the black soldier fly was born to solve. When you let these larvae loose on organic waste, you completely change how it breaks down. Instead of rotting and pumping out methane, the waste is rapidly eaten and converted. Studies have shown that using these larvae can shrink the volume of organic waste by a massive 80%. One study found that BSFs produced 47 times less greenhouse gas than traditional composting. Commercial insect farming is now a booming industry, taking this natural process and scaling it up. A modern insect farm is a marvel of engineering, a fusion of bug science and technology. The process is usually split into two parts: breeding and rearing. The breeding happens in a controlled space, often in big screen cages, where adult flies have room for their little mid-air mating dances. The temperature and humidity are kept just right to mimic a tropical climate. Special eggies, often just stacks of cardboard, are placed near something smelly, like fermenting fruit, to convince the females to lay their eggs in one easy-to-collect spot. Once the eggs hatch, the tiny larvae are moved to a nursery for a special starter diet. Then, they go to the main event. This could be anything from simple trays to huge automated troughs. Here, they're fed specific recipes of waste, anything from a brewery's spent grain to a restaurant's vegetable peels. For the next couple of weeks, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. A single gram of eggs, which is thousands of larvae, can plow through over 10 pounds of waste before they're all grown up. When they hit that final, pre-pupal stage, their self-harvesting instinct kicks in. In commercial farms, this is made easy with ramps built into the sides of the bins. The larvae crawl right up the ramps and fall into collection channels. From there, they're processed. And the outputs? They're revolutionary. We aren't just getting rid of waste. We're creating treasure. It's truly incredible how a solution to such a massive global problem can come from this tiny, overlooked creature. If you're finding this story as fascinating as I do, consider subscribing to the channel. We're always digging into the hidden wonders of the natural world to find amazing stories just like this one. The story doesn't end with getting rid of our trash. That's just the beginning. The larvae, having turned garbage into their own body mass, are now a resource themselves. They are packed with protein, about 50% of their body weight, and healthy fats. After being dried and processed, they become a high-quality protein meal that's an almost perfect substitute for fish meal and soy in animal feed. This is a huge deal. Soy production is a major cause of deforestation, and our demand for fish meal contributes to overfishing. By swapping in insect-based feed, we can dramatically shrink the environmental footprint of agriculture. The benefits are clear. Chickens that eat BSFL can have higher egg production with more vibrant yolks. For fish farms, it's a sustainable feed that takes pressure off of wild fish populations. But that's not the only thing they produce. The oils extracted from the larvae can be used in everything from pharmaceuticals to cosmetics, and even to create biofuel. A company in the UAE is already turning food waste into sustainable aviation fuel using this exact process. And then there's what the larvae leave behind. This stuff, a mix of their poop and leftover bits of organic matter, is called frass. Far from being waste, frass is a powerful, nutrient-rich organic fertilizer. It improves soil health, helps beneficial microbes thrive, and makes plants grow strong, reducing the need for chemical fertilizers. What we have here is a perfect circular economy in action. Waste goes in one end, and out the other comes high-protein animal feed, valuable oils, and rich organic fertilizer. Every single part of the system creates value. It's a model that turns a costly problem, waste management, into a solution that can actually pay for itself. Companies and organizations all over the world are already putting this into practice, turning city food waste into resources that strengthen local communities. The black soldier fly isn't just an insect that farms its own food. It's a master of upcycling. It's a tiny, decentralized recycling plant that takes what we throw away and elegantly transforms it back into the very building blocks of our food system. It's one of nature's hidden technologies, A solution that's been flying right under our noses this whole time. It just makes you wonder, what other brilliant solutions are out there, waiting for us to pay attention?